Hello everyone, it's Gunther here and welcome to the full demo of the Change Management Toolkit. What I wanted to do in the next few minutes was kind of open up the covers and get underneath the hood and take you through what the Change Management Toolkit looks like on the inside, to show you how it's put together, to show you some of the templates and give you a good idea really of what it looks like and how you can use it to really change the way that you deliver projects and land your projects and business transformation in a better way. So here we go. There's a few key sections. So I'm going to start off at the start, which is the home page. And as you can see, it's fairly straightforward. There's 4 key sections to the toolkit. One is an instructional section on how to use it, and I'll delve into that a little bit just to show you what that looks like, to give you an idea of how that feels. Then a very high level overview of the change management process. Now, the change management process, in essence, I guess, is a generic type process. But what I've done here is just to kind of show you how that works, and then also overlay the various templates in this toolkit on that process so you can see how an end-to-end change management engagement or type project or work stream as part of your project would look. Then I'm going to show you the toolkit content itself, and obviously this is where the real value of the toolkit is. So you'll see what some of those templates look like, how they're made up, and how you can apply them to your projects. And then finally, the last section is just covering off other resources. Right, so let's continue with the instructions, how to use this toolkit. Now, what you'll see is when you click into here, there's quite a bit of content. There is both video and text, so whichever you prefer. If you want to watch the videos, that's going to tell you exactly what you need to know. If you just want to read the text, that's also going to tell you what you need to know. And as you can see, and as I've spoken about before, the toolkit is built on the Notion platform. So part of that is setting up a Notion account if you haven't done that already. It's all free of charge. You don't need to pay any money for that. So it'll take you through how to do that. It'll take you through how to create your own instance of the toolkit, so you can, as a once-off, duplicate that into your workspace. But it also shows you then how to do that multiple times, so you can create this toolkit for each project that you do. So you can run unlimited projects on this. There's no licensing implication, one-off purchase, and you're going to be able to use it on as many projects as you want. And then you can see step-by-step video guidance on how to use the toolkit, from setting up an individual project to using the metadata and the templates themselves, document control, filling in the templates, and then finally working with tables. And working with tables is truly transformational. I think you're going to see something that's going to take you way beyond what you might have done in Excel or Word. So just calling out that it's a truly powerful feature, and I think you're going to really enjoy that, and it's going to add a ton of value to your project. So right, that being said, let's skip on to the next section, and this is the change management process. As I mentioned before, it's pretty high level. So what I've done here is map you out a 4 swim lane process. And this is the typical process that you would take alongside delivering a technology project, or perhaps an organizational restructure, or any type of project. And these 4 swim lanes are the key domains that you would need to implement or execute to deliver an effective change management work stream or program. You can see they're color coded. So organizational state is all red, communications is green, stakeholder management is purple, and learning and development is blue. And this really then tells you the rough sort of sequencing that you would use these templates in and run your change management work stream, with a small explanation underneath. So again, this is not meant to be a guide on how to do change management. It's meant to be a toolkit, and it's really about enabling your process. And you'll see this color coding is consistent throughout the toolkit, so that when you're working with a red template, it's to do with the organizational state. If you're working with a blue template, for example, it's to do with learning and development. Right, let's get into the nitty-gritty and the detail of the toolkit. So back to the main menu, I'm going to delve into the toolkit content. Now, as you can see, there's a number of templates that are going to be used during your project. As I said, the red ones are all color-coded red because these are the organizational state ones. Green is related to your communications plan and work stream. Purple is related to your stakeholder management. And then finally, blue is related to your learning and development. Obviously, you can see there's a big focus on L&D here, given the importance of bringing new skills to people in your organization to take on the project that you're delivering. Right, so let's take a quick look at some of these. Let's just delve into one here. Let's take the Change Management Skills Review. In fact, no, this is probably not the one to look at. Let's take a look at the Organizational Risk Assessment. This is my favorite one. Let's just get a bit more real estate here. Right, so in every template, you will see the name of the template. You will see what I've called metadata. And this is a way for you to use as a quick reference what the template does, which discipline it falls into. You can see this is one of the four disciplines. A brief instruction on how to use the template, some tips for using the template, when you might use the template, and also how it aligns or relates to any other template. So you can see the organizational change risk assessment is related to the change readiness assessment. So in this case, you would perform the risk assessment first. That would then flow into your readiness assessment. Each document then, or each template, has an area for document control and approval. So again, something that you can use to track your work really effectively. You can also add commentary to this. So this is why I recommend creating a copy of the toolkit for each project. And you can just create commentary and track stuff as you go. And then we're into the detail of the template. In this case, the risk assessment. So what this template does is really help you at the start of a project assess the risk involved in that project and how that risk assessment might, for example, drive your change management activities. And what this template does here, you can see I've populated some of it already for the demo. It takes all of these questions, or a number of these questions. They are all either related to impact, which is the impact your project would have on the organization, or the preparedness of the organization for this project. So what you would go along and do is you would go through all of these questions, you'd assess them, and you would assign a sort of high, medium, or low assessment based on the guidance here as we go through. And what this tells us here as we go is that each of these questions are related to these disciplines in change management. So let's select a few more. It's medium, just making this stuff up randomly. And you can see as you go through, what this does is it calculates a risk matrix for you at the end of the day, which then helps you feed back to your project, to your customer, what you think the areas of risk are on the project and where you need to focus your efforts. You know, is it on preparedness of the organization? Is it mitigating the risk? And, you know, which parts do you need to focus on? Is it the organization itself in terms of structure and roles? Is it the people aspect in terms of individual stakeholders? Is it the communications plan you really need to be focusing on? Or, you know, is it the learning and development plan you need to be focusing on? Now, each successful each successful business change engagement will have a mix of these, you know, not one flavor fits all organizations. And this is the value in the toolkit, is it gives you that idea or that view on how you can use these four disciplines to design a really effective change management engagement or work stream. So that being said, that is just one of the templates. I wanted to give you a view on how that looks on the inside. You'll see not all of them take this approach in terms of assessment. There are, for example, ones that you would just kind of fill in more as a Word document. So let's take a look at this. This is a role description that you might write as part of a change management engagement. And you can see, again, you've got the sort of same metadata here. This one's got a few more tips in, a little more detail around when you'd use it, document control, approval, and then the template that you would go in and fill out to create the role description. So a fairly straightforward example there. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, I wanted to talk about tables. So I'm going to use the next bit of this demo to show you that. But before we do that, because this is created on Notion, you have the full feature set of Notion available to you. So you can customize any of the templates that, you're allowed to do that. I have no problem with you changing the templates, making them your own, adding templates, of course. You can build out this toolkit to, become even more valuable with your own content. And you can, of course, use the sort of core features that Notion provides. So, for example, I want to think about planning now, and, I might just not be wanting to scroll through all of these. I'm just going to go and search for the term plan, and it filters down on the templates that are related to a plan. And I'm going to look at the learning and development plan. So it's time in the project to start crafting my learning and development plan. And I am here now. Again, the stuff you're used to: metadata, document control, approval. And what I've done is I've done a very basic project plan here. I want to be interviewing staff. I want to write up some notes. I want to create a plan, run the training sessions, and maybe, just maybe, we should get some feedback. Let's see. So gather training feedback, because that's always a valuable thing to do. I might want to start this. You can see the dates here. We're running this in March. Obviously, we're not in 2021 anymore, but this is the sample data. So let's say we want to start the feedback in, let's just say June the 8th, and we want to finish it on the 24th. Apologies, the 8th. We want an end date of the 24th. And there we have it. We can see our timeline. We can measure the percentage complete, including the dependencies and also status. So you can see we're blocked at the moment with this, we're complete with this, we're in progress with this. That being said, this is just random sample data. So now you can build out the plan like this, or, and this is where Notion and the toolkit become very compelling, is we can change this default view here and we can change it to a timeline view. So you can see now I've got a kind of Gantt chart. So overlaid on the calendar, I can see when all of these activities are going to start and when they're going to complete. So given this is a fairly straightforward example, it becomes a lot more easier to manage when you have hundreds of lines, or in your plan, to kind of visualize this up onto a timeline. And what you can also do then is you can flip this over to a board view. So for example, you can see we're blocked on this. We might actually change this to say we're in progress, and we're starting to run the training sessions, and we are, that wasn't supposed to happen, apologies, I dragged that to the wrong place, Control Z to undo, and we're starting to, let's say we blocked with gathering feedback because obviously we haven't run the training sessions yet. So I've updated everything on my Kanban board. Again, many teams would be comfortable working this way. Now what we can do is when we jump back to the default view, we can see those statuses have been updated. So again, this would be exceptionally difficult to do in Excel, as I think many of you have probably done in the past, and you're always creating different views of your task list and copying and pasting, and it just becomes Excel hell. This way, you create this plan once and you can manage it in any of these views that you feel comfortable with. Let's, for example, say you want to write up notes a little bit later, you just drag that on and it'll update your dates for you without you having to go in and edit that task manually. So really powerful, and any template that contains a plan in the toolkit has the same view or same number of views, so you can do that on all of the templates. So hopefully that's given you a really good indication of the power of doing something like this in Notion, and the logic and value that I've built into all of these templates to help you run a successful business change work stream. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me, either type in comments below the video or reach out to me via the landing page. And finally, before we finish off, I'm just going to jump back to our main menu, and the last section here, other resources, just a little bit of extra reading and resources that I've put in for you here. These are the things that I found most useful to me in doing change management work. And also, as I said before, it's Notion, it's extendable. You can go ahead and you can add your own resources. So any kind of research or best practice or articles or project examples, you can go and add here. You can add and append actual documents. You can copy and paste text. You really can extend this toolkit to make it your own. So that concludes our demo. Hopefully that's given you a really good example, a good view in terms of what the capabilities of the toolkit are. I would love to hear back from you. Feedback, questions, feature requests, please reach out and get hold of me. And happy change management and business transformation. Bye for now.